You only ever know. Y'all the main ones I'm watching on my throne. You only ever know. Y'all the main ones I'm watching on my throne. Created everything, but I called you my own. That land I gave you, put my name on it, my home. Yeah, that's my home. Israel, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. I made a promise, can't nobody take it. I chose to put you above all the nations. Out of your graves, I chose to awaken. We made a covenant, don't you forsake it. Come get protected while they going crazy. Israel, my firstborn, my baby. Israel, my firstborn, my baby. I woke you up in your land of captivity. I do not change, I want you to remember me. Laws and commandments, I gave you the remedy. Go read the testimonies for your memory. I sent them prophets, but you wasn't hearing me. I come to you if you really come near to me. I heard your cry.
Will still be looking like this, and as we are being caught up, we're going to be changed. How? Scripture says, in a moment, in the twinkling of an eye. You see, and this is what's going to be so devastating. You've got to think about it. The war. Look at how they decimated parts of Tel Aviv, and look at how they're now. They're trying to entrap Bahrain by getting the Iran to come against them too. And Bahrain doesn't want any of that smoke. But what we see here is this. The whole purpose is to bring fear and a person being frightened to their soul. But the reason why it's not going to affect us in the same way, because remember, it said, behold, I show you a mystery. We what, sir?
We shall not all sleep.
Come on.
But we shall all be changed.
According to Job chapter 14 and 14, right? But then when we read on it, says, how is that going to happen? Go on.
In a moment.
In a moment.
In the twinkling of an eye.
Come on.
At the last trump.
The last trump. And that's why I have no problem with the orange man being the last trump. I have no problem with that. Whether it fits or it doesn't fit, I have no problem with it. Because he's only in power because the Most High put him there. And then when we read on it, says,
come, says, at the last trump, for the trumpet shall sound.
Come on.
And the dead shall be raised incorruptible.
Incorruptible, go on.
And we shall be changed.
When we shall be changed. Listen, all of this happening, it's changing some of us. You know, it hasn't changed us physically yet, but changing our spirit. Changing how we see things. Because we've been hearing our great-great-grandmother talking about, oh, the Lord is coming back, and there's going to be wars and rumors of wars. And we've been hearing it, but now we're living in it now. So it's bringing a whole new perspective to us. But read on that just a little bit more, please.
Come, for this corruptible must put on incorruption.
Come on.
And this mortal must put on immortality.
And that's the key to us. Because whilst hell's breaking loose and war's kicking up, our immortal body, a bomb may blow up beside us and we just what was that? What was that?
Watch out.
And then we're just going all the way up. Now let's go back here. And then it said afterwards, but back at 23, sir, same chapter.
Matthew, it's like 1 Corinthians chapter 15 and verse 23.
Yes.
It says, Hamashiach, the first fruits. Afterward, they that are Hamashiach.
They that what?
Are Hamashiach.
Now that's speaking about the 144 and the elect.
That's right.
Not the election. The elect. So that's the 1/3. Everybody got that so far? Now we can run back to where we were in Revelation, where you can take it from there. Where we were reading Revelation chapter
6.
6, yeah. And we read.
I started at 9.
At 9, let's read 10 and then move all the way down.
Come, the book of Revelation, chapter 6 and verse 10.
Go on.
And they cried with a loud voice, saying, how long, O Lord?
How long what?
How long, O Lord?
Yes, sir.
Holy and true.
Yes.
Dost thou not judge and avenge our blood on them that dwell on the earth.
See that? On them that did what?
Dwell on the earth.
Dwell on the earth. Now, we have to go back to Luke chapter 18, and we have to read verse 7 and 8 to understand that avengement. When it is ready, Doctor.
Come. Luke 18.
Yes, Luke 18. Yes.
And 7.
And start 7 and 8.
Come. The book of Luke, chapter 18 and verse 7.
Come on.
And shall not Yahweh avenge his own elect?
There it is. Notice, there's no word there called election. Because the election is all of Israel. And this is not the time for all of Israel. This is just the elect, the
right.
1/3. Now remember, we're going to be taken out of despicable conditions. So please don't get it twisted, how they've taught us in Christianity, that we're just going to hear harps and we're going to see white horses and then he's going to say, come up hither, and we're going to go up hither. It's none of that. It's going to be decimation. Things will be exploded around us, destroyed around us. People are going to be dying around us. David saw it. That's why he said, I saw 1,000 fall here and 10,000 over there. Because we're going to witness it with our own eyes. And we have to be a witness. Because in Acts, it said, and ye shall be my witnesses both in Judea and Samaria and the uttermost part. So we're in America right now. So we're in the uttermost part. And we will witness it there as well. You see that? Everybody got that? And so when we read it now, it said, and shall not Yahweh avenge his own elect, which cry day and night unto him. Now remember, we read that in Revelation 6 and 10 because it's letting us know that we're in a chamber. So that's tied into it. And it says,
though he bear long with them, I tell you that he will avenge them speedily.
See? Because this is why he lets us know this is not going to be no 5-day war, 12-day war. This is not going to be a month at it. He says in 1 hour.
That's right.
And read what it says.
Nevertheless, when the Son of Man cometh, shall he find faith on the earth?
Shall he find faith on the earth? Now, one would turn around and say, well, what does he mean by that? Shall he find faith on the earth? Quickly run to Hebrews, sir. Run to Hebrews 10 for me, please.
Yes, sir.
Hebrews 10. Hebrews 10. Just real quick. Hebrews 10. And we're going to read, if you please, verse 37.
The book of Hebrews, chapter 10 and verse 37. For yet a little while, and he that shall come will come.
See?
And will not tarry.
When he comes, he's not going to be hanging around. Read.
Come. Now, the just shall live by faith.
And that's why it says, will he find faith in the earth? Because the just, we are living by our faith. And let's finish it, Doctor.
But if any man draw back,
there it is.
My soul shall have no pleasure in him.
Have no pleasure with him. And the reference to that is Habakkuk 2 and 4. Habakkuk 2 and 4. Everybody got that? In fact, look, is anybody in a hurry for anywhere? No. Let's go to Habakkuk. Let's just quickly run there. Just for a quick moment. I want to get back to where we were.
Yes, sir. The book of Habakkuk, chapter 2 and verse 4.
Go ahead.
Behold, his soul, which is lifted up, is not upright in him.
Is not what?
Is not upright in him.
Come on.
But the just shall live by his faith.
Come on. See? The just shall live by his faith. So that's, and we have learned that out of the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses of every word is established.
That's right.
So we know that Habakkuk told us, Hebrew told us. So we know that this thing is established. And so with that, let's get back to Revelations.
The book of Revelations, chapter 6 and verse 10. And they cry with a loud voice, saying, How long, O Lord, holy and true, dost thou not judge and avenge our blood on them that dwell on the earth?
That dwell on the earth. Con. I want to get to where the sun is blotted out. Let's jump down to that now.
Con.
That's 12:13, I believe.
Yes, sir. 12. Verse 12. And I beheld, when he had opened the sixth seal, and lo, there was a great earthquake.
Yes.
And the sun became black as sackcloth of hair.
Mm-hmm.
And the moon became as blood.
The moon became as what?
As blood.
The moon became as blood. Come on, go ahead.
And the stars of heaven fell unto the earth, even as a fig tree casteth her untimely fig.
Now, let's understand what that means. The stars, what does that mean? Can anyone tell us real quick? Yes, your worship.
The stars of Israel. I'm talking about Israel.
No. I see how you would see that. Yeah. Remember, the terminology stars it's likened to really two groups of people because they're the ones shining now. And so when it says, and the stars of heaven shall fall unto the earth, it's really saying that the rulers who are living in their heaven, they are going to fall to the earth. You see, we're already on the earth because we have fallen to a low estate. And the lowest state that we are, because what one scripture says, I don't remember it right now, it says, we are but like dust. Right? Now, why would we account ourselves like that? Well, because we know that the Most High made us from the dust of the earth. So it took us from that thing. And when we say, well, in fact, let me explain it better. Let's go to Genesis. Sometimes it's better that we just. So when Genesis chapter 2 and verse 7, it tells us clearly there, it says.
The book of Genesis, chapter 2 and verse 7.
Mm-hmm.
And Yahweh formed man of the dust of the ground.
And remember, this is the first time, we pointed out the other day, it's the first time that from Genesis chapter 1, it's now introducing the Most High. Before that, he wasn't introduced. Because people think in the beginning God created heaven. That was not the Father. That was the Son and the angels. You see, because the word there is Elohim. So that's not the Father. The Father now turns up here in this section because now he's putting spirit in us or breath in us. And how does he do it? Read it slowly, if you please, Cap.
Genesis chapter 2 and verse 7.
Mm-hmm.
And Yahweh formed man of the dust of the ground.
The ground. Now remember, of the ground. So he didn't say of the dirt. Even though we know that dust comes from dirt, he didn't use that. Because why does he use the word dust? Can anyone tell me? I know it will challenge you a little bit, which is good. But why does he say dust as opposed to, he could have easily have just said the ground and let it be done. But he uses the word dust. Yes, I have the hand over there first. Yes, ma'am.
Dust can be airborne and move around.
Con. Hold that for a moment. Yes, I saw it. With your hand, sir?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
With dust now is particle and is much more versus dirt. Dirt is like the dust is like all over and it's like Israel, more infinite.
That's good. That's deep too. Hello. But the reason why, yes, I would go with you and I would go with Sister Lois because you're both basically saying the same thing. Dust always hovers above the ground. If you want to get dust on your hand, what do? You put your hand on the ground and you rub it and you pick your hand, it got dust, dirt all over your hand, right? Which means then we were low, but we wasn't buried. Make sense? And so what's what it says now, and I know we blended it deep in research, but watch this. And he said he formed man of the dust, right? Sirach chapter 17, please. Some of you already know where I want to go. So Sirach chapter 17. 17 and 1.
Come. The book of Sirach, chapter 17 and verse 1, page 80. The Lord created man of the earth.
Of what?
Of the earth.
Of the earth. Go on.
And turned him into it again.
Again. Because remember, that's why when we're buried, they say ashes to ashes, dust to dust. Right? So it's all scriptural, but we miss it because Christianity had plagued our mind with a different lens, so we see it slightly different. And then it says of the earth, and it turns them into it again. Then verse 2 says,
He gave them few days.
Go on.
And a short time.
A short time. Few days meaning even if you live to 60, 70, 90 years of age, those are few days. You see? And it says what?
And power also.
So it says few days and what?
And short time.
And short time. So no matter how that, well, I've lived a long life. Really? You think 90, 100 is a long life? You forget our brothers used to live to 800 and 900 years. So someone's got it twisted somewhere along the line. But let's read on. Read.
And power also over the things therein.
Over the things therein. And read 3 for the last.
He endued them with strength by themselves.
With strength by themselves. Go on.
And made them according to his image.
And that's the key there. To his image. Makes sense, everyone? Now, so when we go back here now, and we are reading Genesis chapter 2 and 7, it says, dust of the ground, and then it says, and breathed into his nostril
the breath of life.
The breath of life. So now we know that the laws was then breathed into us. Remember, this was before the written law. All right? And so with that in mind, if you want to get more wisdom on that, yes, you have to read Wisdom of Solomon 7 and find the verse in there, okay? But then when we read it, it says the breath of life. And what did it say?
And man became a living soul.
And man became a living soul because he was not a living soul before. You see? And why does it say man was not a living soul? There's a difference now. Because what makes us different from every other creature? Can anyone tell me? What makes us different? Yes, sir. Rest in peace.
Because we were given the laws that.
Yes, but before we get to that, what makes us different from every creature that exists upon the face of the earth? Are you were next, sir, and then you would have.
Bishop, because we have a soul and the other nation don't have it.
Yes, but what is a soul? Yes, sir.
It's the spirit of Most High.
All right. Yes, doctor.
Genesis 1:27, we're made in his image.
Yes, but those remember that was is every man made in his image?
No.
All right. Good. At least good. Because what we don't want is this. Everyone is made in an image, but we are most definitely the ones who are made in the image of the Most High God. Right? Now, I don't want to stay there too long, but here's what I would want to find out. What makes you better than a monkey? Yes, ma'am.
Is it because of the I have here the three parts, meaning mind, body, and soul.
Yes, but all right. So that's we call that the trichotomy, the three tripartites of man. So you say mind, body, and soul. Okay. Soul basically is the spirit, from the Greek word soma. But when we're dealing with the mind, so what's in the mind?
The mind is.
Keep it simple now. I know you're going to give me your degree now, but keep it real simple. Treat me like a student.
The mind is just a thought.
And where does the thought come from?
Our mind.
leave the mind and what's in here?
Our brain.
That's it. Because you see, we don't know the power of the brain. We really don't know. And they tell us that we use only 10%. Yeah, that's right. I'm being kind. I need to prop us up a little bit here. So if we're using less than 10% of our brain, what is the other 90% for? That's why when we read this now, man was existing with the full cognitive power of his brain in the beginning. But what happened was the Most High knew that something was missing. And now we go back to the very thing that connects us with God, which is what the Greek call the soma, because the soul now is connected to him. You see? That's why he doesn't, you and I, we have to communicate loud for everybody to hear. But those who are his, he can speak to them and nobody even knows he's speaking to them. You see? Because he's connected to them. All right, so let's leave that alone for now. Quickly run to Baruch chapter 4 and 1.
Yes, sir.
Real quick, and then we need to go back somewhere. Where were we, sir?
I know we had left Genesis. Well, yeah, we had.
Yeah, so we're going to leave Genesis.
We had just read Ecclesiastes, Sirach 17 and 1.
Con, we read that too.
Good.
That was pertaining to Genesis.
Right. So let's go to. Hey, that's it. Let's go here. First, let's go to Baruch chapter 4 and verse 1.
Con, the book of Baruch, chapter 4 and verse 1, page 105.
Come on.
This is the book of the commandments of Yahweh.
See, because now the commandments, the laws, are in written form. And the written formation came about by Moses. Before, it was passed from father to son.
That's right.
Right? And then it says, read.
And the law that endureth forever.
See, the law endureth forever. Go on.
All they that keep it.
All of us who keep it.
Shall come to life.
See? It gives us life.
That's right.
Right? And then it says what?
But such as leave it shall die.
Shall do what?
Shall die.
Shall die. Makes it very, very clear there. Make sense, everyone?
Good.
So now let's go back to Revelations real quick. Because I want to get back to where we were when it says dealing with the Son.
Revelations 6 and 13.
13?
6 and 12.
6 and 12 about the
Yeah,
Son.
it was latter close of 12. Yes, sir.
Come, the book of Revelation, chapter 6, verse 12, latter clause. The sun became black as sackcloth of hair.
Okay, so he blots out the light, meaning the earth is going to be in darkness. Then it says, read.
And the moon became as blood.
And the moon became as blood because that's a symbol. Now, there are many different schools of thought on that. So, people sometimes try to belittle it, but there are many schools of thought. But give me a school of thought, somebody. Give me a school of thought. What does the moon mean? Just give me a school of thought. Anyone? Yes, ma'am. Say again.
Seasons.
Season? Yes, ma'am. Months? Yes, because we live in the lunar months of seasons. The lunar months are dealt with the moon. But what? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Understanding, okay, and yourself, Canaan. Oh, you said that.